Hi everybody, today is a lovely day. It's sunny here in Brighton where I live, and I hope it's sunny where you are too, because the sunshine does lift our spirits, doesn't it? So today, with that in mind, I'm talking to you about how mental and emotional stress can affect the immune system. So we think of physical stressors, we think of environmental stressors, but we don't think of necessarily emotional stress having the very same effect in the body. The deal is that any stress, wherever it comes from, has the same effect. We use the limbic brain to create this fight-flight response to stress, wherever it's coming from, whether it's a real physical stress or an environmental stress or an emotional stress or a virtual stress. It might be something that is purely outside of our ability to do anything about, for example, the lockdown, or could be money worries. Can I pay the mortgage at the moment? And that sort of thing has the very same effect in the body. And this cascade of hormonal activity that produces all the neurological responses in the body is the same, whether it's physical or emotional. So it's really important to look at what our emotional stresses are at this time. And actually, a good reframe of the lockdown and the fact that we are quiet and have to be at home a lot, and maybe a lot of us are not able to work, gives us actually a lot of time to do just that, to be able to look at our emotional stresses. The body sees it as a wound, just like any other wound, and it's looking for a resolution of that wound. So if we've got long-term emotional stresses that we've been able to shelve, maybe put in a box away because we've been kept busy with our lives, we haven't had time to look at it, doesn't mean it's not having that stress effect, that underlying stress effect on our bodies. And this can manifest in many, many physical ways, but also in that obvious way that can be anxiety or depression or mental chatter, nervousness, irritability, all of those things that you maybe don't associate with an unresolved wound, as it were. So this actually can be a great time to have a chance to look at that, and many people will want to seek support and professional advice to do that. And if you're able to, I do think that is a good idea. It's something I work with my clients to resolve, and it's actually something I feel quite passionate about as part of my work, to really get to the root cause of any problem that is presenting now in a physical way. So that's something I can offer if that's of interest. So going back to the whole premise of it having this effect, we've got this. We've got lots and lots of constraints on us at the moment, haven't we, that can cause us to feel anxious or worried or fearful. Maybe we're home alone. Maybe we live on our own, and so we haven't actually got that contact, that physical contact with other people. And actually, as social animals that we are, one of the biggest stressors, in fact, the biggest stressor of all stressors, is loneliness. Is being alone, kind of being outside of the pack, as it were. We don't feel safe in that environment. We need to have that connection with other people. And again, a reframe of our modern day lives could be that, at least we have the internet, and you know, I'm speaking to you today as if you're in the same room as me, and I feel connected with you all. So I do urge you to make those connections with your friends and your family and anybody who you can make contact with, whether it be by phone, on a Zoom, a call, a WhatsApp, or whatever it is that you're using. And also to get out in the outside world if you feel confident enough to do that. You know, I go for my daily swims on the beach, and I'm always able to chat with people down there on the beach and to make that connection with another human being, and it uplifts me. It's wonderful. The other side of the coin might be that you're in lockdown with a family or friends, and you're in closer confines than you would normally be, because normally maybe you'd be out at work or at school, or you know, you wouldn't necessarily be so long all at home together, and that can be a stress as well. So, you know, whichever side of the coin you're on, you might find that you're in stress. So again, you've got to find your own coping mechanisms to deal with that kind of stress, and trying to find your own space within the home can be an important thing to look at, and make sure your needs are met within the whole family or the whole friendship group or whoever you're living with. Other stresses could be that you just, you really do want to go and look after loved ones or visit loved ones, and you're not able to. So all these confines causing us stress. And it can reveal some underlying wounds that have been there for a really long time. So there are lots of things that you can do at home. I really love EFT. I think emotional freedom technique is a really great thing that you can learn very, very easily. There's many, many YouTube videos to show you the how to do it. And the idea with it is that you're using your energy meridians to make more of a flow of the energy. When we're under stress, we hold that stress in our body, and energy can get stuck, and that's sometimes why we find we can't move through an emotion. So it might be that you're feeling really angry or really sad, or whatever it is. You know, maybe people are in grief right now if they've lost loved ones as well. I know I'm grieving right now for someone, and you know, these emotions can get really stuck. So there's this EFT is a really good way, and what you're doing is you're sort of freeing up and moving the emotion, and you're acknowledging it. So you're not pushing it away, putting it in a box. You're saying, okay, I'm really feeling this. And sometimes we're a bit fearful of that, because it's a bit like, oh, what will happen if I really allow myself to fully feel something? But what happens is the body really loves that, because it just says, oh yeah, I've been trying to tell you this forever. You know, I've been trying to tell you that this is a wound that needs looking at. And so when you give it attention, it then says, oh, I don't need to knock on the door anymore, and it just passes much more easily. So tapping is really great. And I think also one of the things that they don't say about tapping is that I really like, you can use words or you can use tone. So you could think the words, you don't have to say them out loud, but I do think you need to make some sort of sound, again, to free up that energy. So, you know, tapping is a great thing to move the energy around. And you can tap you know, on your fingers, anywhere. You again, look it up. Another great thing you can do at home, and I recommend this to my clients, is something called expressive writing. Now, if you don't want to tap, you might like writing. You might be one of those people that prefers to actually make that physical action of writing it, coming out of your brain and onto the paper. The difference between this and journaling is that you don't keep it. And there are 3 components. You make it like a storybook. So you put yourself into the story. You write in the 3rd person. So once upon a time, there was a girl called Nikki, and she da-da-da-da-da. And the next part of it is that you must include your emotion. So this is where it's so valuable to acknowledge again in a slightly different way to the tapping. But again, it's that acknowledgement of what you're feeling. So you write down the emotion, and then you must give the story an ending. Doesn't matter whether it's a happy or a sad ending, or if it's even not an ending, if it's still ongoing, but write the ending. And then the idea is that you then destroy the writing. So whether it be that you throw it in the bin, or you make some small ritual, maybe you burn it, it's up to you. But the idea is that once it's up and out, it's gone. And again, it's like that flow, moving it out of the body. There are other things you can use. You can see practitioners for the emotion code to release any trapped beliefs and emotions, theta healing, all sorts of other modalities, rapid eye movement, all sorts of things can help to free up emotions that are trapped in the body. And maybe that's something you'd like to look at. So if you have got anxiety, if you have got depression or anything like that, it is just, see it as a sign that you're stressed, and that's something that you can look at to support yourself. And other things you can do. So gratitudes, some of you may already know this is as a great technique, but every day if you tell your brain something negative, it's going to believe that negativity. Same if the opposite, if you tell it something positive, it's going to believe that positivity. And the brain is amazing. It will believe anything you tell it. So that whole adage of fake it till you make it is very, very true. So even if you're not feeling very positive, if you say positive things, if you can imagine positive things, things that you are grateful for, things that you love in your life, and it can be the tiniest thing, doesn't have to be big, and different things each day, the brain will start to believe, yes, life is good, and all those kind of stresses that you've been experiencing can fall away. Another great favorite of mine is laughter. I think laughter is the best medicine. I've actually just had the most amazing belly laugh down on the beach this morning. Oh my goodness, my sides hurt. Just wonderful to be free to really let rip. So you know, if you're at home, maybe find a rom-com to watch, you know, something funny on YouTube or wherever you find your funny little bits to connect with, or just another family member. But yeah, very very important to laugh and have fun. You know, find fun in small things. Anything that's fun is great. Singing's another great favorite of mine. You can sing in the shower, you can sing to yourself whilst cooking, a bit of dancing as well. You know, all of these things, if you build them into your daily life, it's amazing how quick your body, your physical body will respond, and all those endorphins that come with the feel-good hormones and really start to act on so many levels. So serotonin, and it's going to affect better sleep, better digestion, and activating this parasympathetic nervous system, the vagal nerve stimulation that we've talked about. So all of those things that I've mentioned really do activate the vagal nerve and the parasympathetic nervous system. At the end of the day, before you go to sleep, once you get into bed, I think another really nice way to end the day is just to rerun, like a film, just a small thing that's happened during the day that you've really loved or found that's gone well for you. And again, it can be the most minute, tiny little thing, but if you rerun it in your mind, then that will produce all the right chemical response in the body to relax, and that's a great way to go into your sleep. And in the morning, when you wake, another really great thing to do to start the day is just to really imagine your day as you would love it. Imagine yourself, if you're not very well, or if you've got other anxieties, or you've got some emotional stuff that's going on for you. Imagine that overnight your fairy godmother has come and she's sprinkled some fairy magic dust over you, and all of that has been washed away, so that when you wake up in the morning, you are in the state that you would really, truly love for yourself. It could be, you know, all encompassing. It could be that if you've got some things that you're not really happy with in your life, that they've all gone away, physical and environmental, anything. Could be your job, where you're living, the worries that you've got, anything like that, all gone. And in its place is the life that you really would love for yourself. And if you just literally just take a few minutes every morning as you wake, just imagining that new world. Imagine how you would be different. Imagine how other people would be different towards you, how they would see you behaving in a different way, and imagine, you know, run it through like a film going forward of how you would love your day to be. And again, the brain literally will believe anything that you tell it. And this is a therapy, imagination therapy it's called, and it's a proven scientific therapy that over time it really does work. And it's other people might use it, other words for it, like the law of attraction, for example. So all of these things are great techniques that you can do at home. Like I said, if you do want to have more of a one-to-one personal support for any of that sort of work, and there are many other tools in my toolkit to help with that side of things, please do get in touch. And finally, just to say, you know, things that I've covered already: breathing, you know, that long deep breaths, yoga, meditation if you do it already, exercise, all of those things that we've covered so far, also really important to help, you know, keep those emotional aspects just moving. All the chemicals that are produced from the stress, just keep them moving, and just, you know, start to really love yourself, I think, is the important thing right now. You know, we have to really look after ourselves during this lockdown. One of the things that is quite difficult for people is this skin-to-skin contact with other humans. Maybe if you have an animal, a pet, you know, that can be very soothing. So you can, stroke your dog or your cat. But you can actually sort of do a sort of self-massage, a self-soothe. It's not quite the same, but it does have nearly the same effect chemically in the body. And so just that gentle sort of stroking of your arms, a hug, very, very important. And obviously if you do live with other people, or you're able to connect with other people, then, you know, a 20-second or more hug is an ideal way to activate the parasympathetic nervous system. So I'll leave you with a virtual hug, wishing you all very well, and I hope that you're able to connect with other people today, and just maybe start talking about things that are concerning you. A trouble shared is a troubled heart as well, and maybe try some of those other techniques. So please do continue to invite people to listen to these talks if you think that somebody would benefit. So delighted to see you. Thanks to everybody that I've seen a few hellos. Thank you for joining me live, and if you're watching this on replay, a very big hello. And tomorrow we're going to be talking about one of the things that has has come out in the news about how people with metabolic syndrome, that can be people with heart problems or type 2 diabetes, are really much more vulnerable to this virus. And so I'm going to be talking specifically about metabolic balance and how that's really important for the immune system. So I really look forward to seeing you tomorrow, and bye for now.